Thursday.
Really? Feels like Tuesday.
Tuesday has no feel. Monday has a feel. Friday has a feel. Sunday has a feel.
I feel Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, shut up, the both of you.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday, more like Newsday, for Article 2 of February the 19th of 2019. Today's learning goal is to determine two or more central ideas of a text and analyze their development over the course of the text, including how they interact and build on one another. I imagine at this point this scale looks pretty familiar to you. A 4 means that you can identify the central ideas, the evidence the author uses to prove his or her point, and how the ideas build on one another. A 3 means that you can identify the central ideas, the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point. A 2 means that you're identifying the central idea, but not really showing me the evidence. And a 1 means that you are unsure of how to identify the central idea. To receive a unit and a half for today's class, you must highlight or underline the main idea, circle the evidence that the author uses to support his or her point, and box around any other central ideas in the text. The point 5 that I've added comes from the vocab that is stapled to the packet that you have in front of you. The 4 skills that we're going to work on today are to identify the topic, be able to summarize the story in 10 to 12 words, identify the first and last sentence, and then find any repetition, and by that I mean any repeated ideas. Generally this stuff comes out in the quotes that people use and experts might say or first-hand experience might say in the story. Today's article is titled "Rap and Women Take Center Stage at the Grammy Awards," which is, if not relevant, at least it's current. There's a picture of Cardi B, who in my opinion, and I'm fairly certain, is the same person as Nicki Minaj, but that's up for debate. The article begins this way with paragraph number 1. Rap artists and women have felt shunned by the Grammy Awards in recent years, but this year they both took center stage. Paragraph 2. Childish Gambino's disturbing look at race relations, This Is America, won Record and Song of the Year on Sunday's telecast. It was the first time a rap-based song won both of these awards, considered, with Album of the Year, the recording industry's most prestigious. Paragraph number 3. Casey Musgraves won Top Album and matched Childish Gambino with 4 Grammys total. A year after many women felt left out of the Grammy telecast, they delivered the night's most memorable performances. The Best New Artist winner, British singer Dua Lipa, also cast major shade on the outgoing Recording Academy president. Paragraph 4. Lady Gaga and Brandi Carlile won 3 Grammys apiece, and former First Lady Michelle Obama was a surprising guest at the top of the show on CBS. Paragraph number 5 here. Childish Gambino, the stage name of actor Donald Glover, and another prominent rap nominee, Kendrick Lamar, both declined invitations to perform or attend Sunday's show. Some rap artists felt the Grammys have been slow to recognize how the genre now dominates popular music. Paragraph 6. Ludwig Göransson, a songwriter and producer on This Is America, said backstage that he was surprised that the victories were so historic. Just listening to the radio, watching the culture, and seeing how many rap songs are downloaded is evidence of rap's impact. Paragraph 7. It's about time something like this happened with the Grammys as well, Goran said. Paragraph number 8. Cardi B became the first solo woman to win Best Rap Album, although Lauryn Hill was the lead singer of the Fugees, which won the same award at the 1997 Grammys. Cardi B was also nervous accepting the award, that she was also so nervous about accepting the award that she joked about smoking weed. Paragraph 9. She looked anything but rattled earlier when her rendition of Money was among the night's performance highlights. Janelle Monáe delivered a smoking version of her hit Make Me Feel. St. Vincent and Dua Lipa's duet on Mass Education was steamy. Her turned heads with Hard Place, and Carlisle sang an inspired version of her hit The Joke. Paragraph 10. Being part of a big night for women was huge to her, Carlisle said backstage after the show. Paragraph 11. I'm a kid from the 90s and Lilith Fair, and those women were just dominating those platforms, she said. They were dominating those arena and amphitheater stages, they were getting record deals, they were becoming record executives themselves. They completely controlled the airwaves, they were on the radio, and to watch that backslide for the last 20 years has been heartbreaking. Tonight, it gives me hope as a mother of 2 young daughters. Paragraph 12. She accepted her Best New Artist award. Dua Lipa pointedly said, I guess this year we really stepped up. Paragraph 13. That was a reference to the outgoing Recording Academy CEO Neil Portnow, who said women needed to step up when he was asked about the lack of women in top categories in 2018. He later acknowledged it was a poor choice of words and delivered another mea culpa on Sunday's show. Paragraph 14. Yet, Dua Lipa was awarded by having her acceptance speech cut off mid-sentence. She wasn't alone, however, as a handful of other artists were also hustled off the stage, and the show seemed disjointed at the end, rushing through its final awards. Under the circumstances, having a lengthy tribute to Portnow before he gave his own speech seemed tone-deaf. Paragraph 15. Lipa said later that she would have thanked her fans for her inspirations and team if she had more time. 16. When she was on stage, Lipa was one of a handful of winners who paid special tribute to fellow artists. Another was Drake, whose appearance to accept a Grammy when God's Plan won Best Rap Song was a surprise because he's not big on award shows. 17. He reminded fans and fellow artists that awards are based on the subjective views of others and aren't contests in which there are clear winners and losers. 18. You've already won if you have people who are singing your songs word for word, if you're a hero in your hometown. Look, if there are people who have regular jobs who are coming out in the rain and the snow, spending their hard-earned money to buy tickets to come to your shows, you don't need this right here. I promise you, you already won. He said at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. 19. Musgraves picked up Album of the Year for Golden Hour, which labeled country but had a wider appeal. 20. I never dreamed that this record would be met with such love, such warmth, such positivity, said Musgrave, who performed a stately version of her song Rainbow. 21. Dolly Parton starred in the Best of the Night's 2 tributes to veteran artists, performing a medley of her songs with Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, and Maren Morris. The highlight of Diana Ross's night was the cute introduction by her grandson with a mountain of hair. 22. The Grammys took some online blowback for having Jennifer Lopez deliver a tribute to Motown, once the nation's preeminent label for black artists. Despite her hustle, Lopez was outshone by show host Alicia Keys and Smokey Robinson, delivering one verse of Tracks of My Tears a cappella. 22. Obama appeared on the show's opening with Keys, Gaga, Lopez, and Jada Pinkett Smith to describe the role music had played in their lives, seemingly a pointed reference to last year's controversy over women artists. 23. Music has always helped me tell my story, Obama said. Whether we like country or rap or rock, music helps us share ourselves. It allows us to hear one another. 24. Another ex-White House resident was awarded a Grammy on Sunday. Former President Jimmy Carter, who is 94, won an award for Best Spoken Word Recording. 25. It's his second Grammy. So here we are again with the scale that's stapled to the top of your packet. I imagine it looks familiar, and it talks about identifying central idea and providing evidence to support that central idea. Oh, look at this. This is from the earlier article. I will delete these because they don't seem to apply to what we're doing here today, at least with this article. So I'm going to delete these, and then we'll talk about those 4 skills that are important to identifying the main idea, kind of getting to that point. And when you can do a certain 4 things, it makes it much easier to identify the main idea. The first is to identify the topic. Remember that the topic is not the main idea. The topic here seems to be that women and rap, kind of straight from the title, dominated the Grammys this year. Summarizing the story, this is about 10 to 12 words of you bringing together everything that happened in that story. The first and last sentence, give me a second to click over there. Highlighted here is the first sentence of the article. It says, rap artists and women have felt shunned by the Grammy Awards in recent years, but this year they both took center stage. And the last sentence says, it's his second Grammy. Oftentimes, the last sentence provides a little bit of more insight about the article, although in this case I'm not sure that it really does. As for repeated ideas, I sense that you could write down things like women stepping up. That seemed to be a common theme from some quotes. You might also note that there were lots of women performers. You might also note that women won a lot of awards at this year's Grammys, and how those things sort of led to a response to last year's Grammy nominees and winners. In that it didn't seem like women were very prevalent in that Grammy's performance and production, but that wasn't the case this year. Hopefully those 4 things, identifying the topic, summarizing the story, first and last sentence, and repeated ideas, lead you to the main idea of the article, which you are jotting down here. And of course, as always, I am not going to quite give you that, because I think it's important that you use those skills to find that main idea yourself. With that, this worksheet plus the grammar worksheet lead you to 1.5 units and a total of actually 3 units if you're on top of things today. Bye.